This is Veronica Wells from MadameNoir.com, and we're here at the African American Literary Awards. So tell me about the award you're presenting tonight.
Would you believe that I don't know which award I'm presenting tonight? I can tell you who I hope to present to, and that is my mentor, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. He has been a longtime supporter, but not as long as I've been a fan of his work. He is just one of the most, incredible human beings I've ever met. He's one of the greatest voices, not just African American, but, just in terms of just being an academic, somebody who's come from nothing to something. He's such an extraordinary example of perseverance, strength, intellect, intelligence. He's wonderful. So I'm hoping that that's who I'm presenting to.
What's your favorite book by him?
The book that I'm reading right now is Can You Hear Me Now? It's just his latest book. But I really liked his book, was Bill Cosby Right? Because it brought up a lot of issues that, he really approaches issues that most people are uncomfortable discussing. And a lot of people are not informed enough to discuss. Whatever your educational background is or lack thereof, there's no judgment behind his words. And that's why he just is such a wonderful guy to me.
So how do you feel like books play a role for the hip-hop generation? Are we still reading?
Yes, we are still reading, and I think the testament that we're still reading for hip-hop is the fact that we have a slew of artists who've come out with books recently, especially in the past year. You have Common, you have Prodigy, you have Ice-T, and those are different generations but kind of still in the same. So I think once you have all the different generations of hip-hop speaking, or at least writing, I think what you do is you inspire the next generation that's coming up.
What was your favorite book growing up as a kid?
Oh wow, my favorite book growing up as a kid, I would have to say Man, Child in the Promised Land by Claude Brown. That particular book really made me want to write, it kind of set my whole career path online. It was like this man has come from so little to achieve so much and to write a book about it in a language that I can understand.
So tell us why you're excited to be here at this event this evening.
I'm so excited to be here tonight because it is still the one and only event that recognizes African American literature and African American authors. After all of these years, it is the one that supports us as we tell our stories or the stories that need to be told. And so I'm humbled and honored to be a presenter here tonight.
Obviously, if you're going to be an editor, you have to have had some type of background in reading and literature. So tell us what book was your favorite when you were growing up?
Oh my gosh, what books were my favorite when I was growing up? I had so many. Certainly in our home, the Bible came first and foremost, and we went to that repeatedly.
So you're the creator of this award show. So tell us what spawned this creation of this event.
Because there's nothing for authors at all. There's 1,000,001 music awards, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there's nothing dedicated to African American authors, so I just figured why not try and create something. So this is something I was trying to do since 1996, and I was finally able to give birth to it, bring it to fruition in 2004. And I just keep it going, and this is my 7th year, and every year I'm just totally amazed because I get so much support, so much love from the reading public, from the literary world. It's just great.
What were your favorite books growing up as a child?
Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Everybody know that was like the hottest book ever growing up. I liked a lot of books growing up. Oh gosh, so many I can't really remember, but all the Sweet Valley High books. I was like a real book reader, and I also was a writer since I was 3rd grade. So I always written and things of that nature, so I love all books.
We're here with model actress Nick Pace. So Nick, a lot of people might be looking at your face like, I know her from somewhere. Tell us where we know you from.
That show, it's a little show called Top Model. It's been around for, just a little seasons, but yeah, that's it.
That's where we know you from. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us, are you presenting this evening?
I am presenting this evening. I'm presenting for Non-Literary Magazine, so I'll be up there.
Right. Which magazines do you read?
Obviously I'm a fashion girl, so I like the W's and the Cosmopolitans and stuff like that. But I'm also an Atlanta girl, so I can get in with Uptown Magazine and stuff. So.
Dr. Dyson, how are you this evening?
Fine, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. So first, let me ask you this question. We're in the hip-hop generation. Everybody's about music and television and the digital age. So do you think books are still relevant? We know you write books like it's nothing, so are books still relevant?
I think books are extremely relevant. Different formats, people might download their books, e-books and so on, but knowledge is important. The way to communicate that knowledge through books is important. People's curiosity can be piqued. People's insight into life can be sustained and nurtured through books. Books are powerful ways in which people's imagination are stoked, and their understanding of themselves is carried out.
Tell us about the books that influenced you when you were a child, like growing up. What were the books you remember?
Man, I tell you, I read a lot of James Baldwin. The Fire Next Time. He was a great guy. I read his novel, Go Tell It on the Mountain. It's very important. Invisible Man, of course, by Ralph Ellison is extremely important. And a bunch of stuff by W.B. Du Bois later on. But then I read a lot of Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau and stuff. So I got a gift of the Harvard Classics when I was 14, and that was life-changing. I'm up here reading poetry and a lot of other stuff, introductions to great works and so on. So that kind of stuff changed my life.
Okay, let me ask you really quickly, what do you think about the whole Troy Davis situation yesterday evening?
It's a travesty of justice. I mean, 7 out of 9 witnesses recant their stories. You should never have a capital offense case based upon either hearsay or witnesses who testify about whether they saw the man or not. So the reality is that why rush to kill him? Why not put him in prison until we can ascertain whether or not this man was guilty, and the high likelihood that the lead prosecution witness may have been the murderer. So the tragedy, of course, is that 10% of the black people are 10% of the population, but 50% of the death row population. That's a disparity that needs to be addressed.